Sup, everyone? Time for another one of those streams again, and uh, yeah, stream was the reason is why is the stream is a little bit later is long story short, I had to take care of something first, and nothing as much serious as something I had to do first. uh, yeah, I really haven't any idea what's. I was originally first planning not to do a stream today, but yeah, we did it do anyways. Um, yeah, so I wonder if the other guys will show up. Or my friend, game guy, or anything. At least we have Brownie here so far.
Yo,
So how is the things over there?
I'm fine.
As usual. And Crystal in the comments apparently. Speaking of the devil,
Who's the devil here, Brony or me?
you.
I didn't hear what you said about me, so I don't know what you're talking about. What's going on?
Not much. It's talking about Crystal in the comments, and it's like speaking of the devil, and you were here. Yeah, I really haven't done much today, so the reasons why the stream is a little bit later is yeah, I really haven't
Oh,
done
that's
much
not
today,
good.
so
Get out of here.
the reasons why my stream is a little bit later is I was actually in a call with my girlfriend and her mom. They're planning on coming over for summer, and well, basically, it's just how to figure out where her mom is going to stay for the summer. Since my girlfriend will be staying with my place, since we only have enough space for two more people, and if her brother would join in, that would have been a little bit difficult. And our friendly goofball is here.
Oh, hush, Nugget.
Oh.
And I just noticed a Gimblet left.
Yep. So, Crystal, what have you been up to?
Discord, YouTube, gaming, Monster Crazy.
Bad words, been an incomplete crazy maniac.
Why does it
That's
sound so
not a
quiet in here?
megalomania.
What is quiet is just me, Brownie, and you here.
No, like the volume is so quiet. I can barely hear you.
Wait, you can barely hear me?
Okay.
Hang on. I can fix that probably. Let's see. Come
I think
on. This computer is a bit slower than down here. Any difference now, though?
Okay. My fucking mic seg is being wrong one. Default.
And the friendly game guy's back.
And you're still a Nugget, and I don't see him.
Nope.
There he is.
There you go.
And here I thought my phone was a piece of garbage. Yeah, it kicked me out. Just wonderful.
That's why it was the media that was up. That's why. It wasn't the call, it was the media. That was why it was so quiet. I had the volume down when I was watching YouTube because when I have it up, it makes it too loud depending on the video.
Okay, this is a whole different person here.
He's just been out of it lately.
I mean, no, there is an actual different new person in the backstage. The Blazy Cat Furious.
Nugget.
Hello. Hi.
Um,
Hoi.
a whole new person.
It's
Someone
look at
still
that.
me. It's still me from Luna, remember?
Um,
It's
You're
Brianna
probably-
from Kovo Streams. I can
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, that has been a while since.
tell. There we go.
Yeah, the reasons why I did recognize it first is, like I said, she is not often here, and that's the reasons why I didn't recognize her first.
And I hate
Yeah.
the people who joined.
Sorry about that. It's been a
Uh,
while since I came back.
is that Blaze with bat wings?
Yes, it's actually my picture now.
Looks like I don't know, a child between Rouge and Blaze.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of cool.
Thank you. I found it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of people are really much are big fan of Rouge. I mean, based on the when her appears in like Sonic X, where she joins the GON, the gun, and as a spy. Yeah, I mean, I think that I've seen that she fits the role as a spy. And when she appears in Sonic Prime,
Yeah.
if you guys, I've seen all those episodes that has been released, which is only 8. But I heard it's gonna be at least 24 episodes of that first season.
Yeah.
But I have to say, most of the appearance of different reality that she appears in, um, she is some of those are complete trash. But others that when she's like this resistance movement leader along with Knuckles, now that is I can definitely see her as a resistance walker, a fighter.
Yeah.
It's like when she was in what was it called? What's the game called? Sonic Frontiers.
Yes.
When she fights against along with the others against Infinite Shackle.
Yes.
Oh, bye, Crystal.
Uh,
But Blaze, though, she is well, she's actually not a bad character. I mean, a lot of people actually likes her because of her firepower that she has,
yeah.
and how she sacrificed her life in order to stop Iblis.
Yes, she does stop eat the whatever you call.
Yeah, Iblis that just
It
And,
was not Sonic's fault. It was Nephilis.
hmm yeah, I
So
mean,
that's why Silver actually took Blaze as his girlfriend.
yeah, I mean, I can understand her being willing to sacrifice in order to make sure that the future doesn't repeat the same things or even get worse.
Yeah.
And I can see why people are shipping with Silver with Blaze.
Yeah, it's actually true. Because it's more like it's a good ship though.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Because everybody can be Blaze. It don't really matter.
exactly. I mean, I have seen a lot of shippings between like Sonic with Sally, Amy, Bonnie the Rabbit, and a few more, and even like Vector with Vanilla, Cream's
Yeah.
mom. So I can understand many people are giving many options of um in shippings. And like, what if let's say if I mean, what if say if Game Guy was a character of a one thing, and he had been shipped with a female character, or even the main a villain. I mean,
That's
or if
so true.
yeah, I mean, the people have been even shipped
Right.
Sonic with Shadow, Sonic with Tails. It's like,
I don't ship that crap.
neither. Sonic. I mean, though they were at one point one of the artists for Sonic RG comics, where he pointed out and made a statement where Silver was somehow descended from both Shadow and Amy, but people shouldn't ask them about how that it makes sense. But later, the creator of Sonic dismissed this idea that Silver being descended from both of them.
Yeah.
But if Silver would have been descended from Amy, it would have probably been with Sonic.
I mean, literally, Blaze and Sonic. I don't ship it that much. I do sometimes, but not all the time. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just a thing. It's just a video I'm making up.
yeah, I can understand that. I mean, considering how many I mean, when it comes to new characters within this, with any fandom or franchise, there's always us expecting some new shippings between new characters. It's like,
Yep.
especially like when G5 came out, there were tons of already shippings between, um, like the main five. I've seen one potential, well, not potential one. Someone actually shipped Sunny with Queen Haven or Sip and Pip's mom.
Oh,
That's
I see.
that's is an age gap, and I even asked my girlfriend if that was a potential story to be done, but she had said that would be not a possible since because Sip and Pip would have been weirded out seeing their best friend dating their mom. I mean, it,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like say if the okay, it's like say if Sonic is who is a friend to Cream, and it's like if he would be dating her mom. What if that Tails is dating her mom? Is just it's basically the same thing. It's just too it's too weird. I mean, having someone who's a friend and dating that friend's mom or dad. Oh yeah, that's creepy, weird on so many levels. Okay, okay, Liz. I heard this story, seen this like actors made this performance where this young woman, she was probably 20, between 20 and 25. She was in college. She met up this older guy, um, assumingly that was in his late 30s and early 40s. They were decided to go on a first date. And when he showed up, oh boy, it turned out that was her mom's new boyfriend. But she
Damn.
wasn't, yeah, but she didn't know that was actually her mom's boyfriend. Because they only been talking, they had met, but the daughter has even met the new boyfriend. But let's say the mother kicked the boyfriend out because having him trying to acting on, uh, I wouldn't say seducing, but more as tried hitting on her daughter as well. Yeah, you don't do that.
No, we don't do that at all.
Mm-mm. But okay, I mean, think from this: if you have a twin, identical twin, and you have a girlfriend, and that your identical, say, if you had a identical twin sister, and you had a boyfriend, and yet your sister also had a huge crush on your boyfriend, and since you guys are pretty much identical in appearance and almost sounds alike, and he probably thinking that your sister is you, and that he had been sleeping around with her, and when he
Yep.
realized, but if he realized that, and that they understand that she took advantage of this identical twin scenario, that he couldn't even separate them if you were dressing alike. But if you didn't dress alike, that's some advantage. But if that was my case, I wouldn't be much as being feeling um, betrayed. It's because how your sister took advantage of your boyfriend or girlfriend or in how to say it. Oh boy! Turns out Prince Chaos is here for once.
Hi.
Our friend the redneck.
What up? What up? What up?
Oh, not
You,
much.
you could just call me Blaze, whatever you call.
Melissa, is that you?
No, I'm Brianna.
Okay.
I'm not a wrong person. You think that was Melissa? Actually, it's not Melissa. It's I don't sound like her at all.
What's up, Prince Chaos or Prince Redneck?
Not much, actually. Getting
Uh,
stoned as shit.
um, does the devil you live, does it count as a redneck? I mean, I'm always just guessing it all.
Yes, I would count as a redneck because I literally, yeah.
Well, at least what you're not one of those country boys, aka rednecks that doing moonshine. That would be too much for anyone to handle.
I've tried moonshine
Depends on.
before.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the type of person that actually makes moonshine.
Oh no, that's against the law.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Well, technically, you can make moonshine legally, which is actually a production is there.
I can make
But
all
honestly,
I
I never
want,
even
drink it
tried
by
anything
myself.
that's strong liquor.
But the problem with that is the fact that if I start selling it, it's against the law.
Huh.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean, if you did make moonshine and gave it to say friends and neighbors without being a bay, that's kind of a loophole. Like since you don't actually selling it, but if you gave it away, since. But yeah, you really don't want to do moonshine if even you get spotted or if you get caught.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's prison time.
yeah, but you probably seen. Have you seen moonshiners on Discovery?
I have, yes.
Yeah, that's is one thing as many people assume they are know that aware how moonshining is illegal. But how is it possible that a TV show that's the TV crew, the camera crews are fooling around certain people that are doing moonshine illegally, and they are broadcasting that on TV. I was like, that's it's not what this or most people would assume this because that's is staged, completely staged. Otherwise, because if they're recording it and then broadcast on national TV, yeah. And if that happened, that the local authorities probably be arresting the camera crew and those people and had been a part of this entire show, and including producers, like, yeah. I mean, you don't want to take the risk to be recording a Moonshining's program and broadcasting national TV without getting risk of being not being caught. Am I right? I mean, I had never even tried anything strong like whiskey or scotch or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something I probably would give some scotch or whiskey a try, but at least not for a while though.
Uh-huh.
I know at least two people here which has not been and they're under the influence, which would be Brony Dreamer, which is a minor, and Game Guy, who will be 19 this year. Have you two ever been drinking much?
Oh God, never.
No, I mean, I know that. I mean, you
Hey.
are 18, but you are not drinking or anything like that. But I know that Prince
you say hello?
Chaos is in his.
Go.
Oh, oof.
See, I don't
Having
like
this-
the taste of alcohol. But
You
my
don't even
thing
like-
is the reason I smoke marijuana, and not just because it's my medicine. I literally have a medical card for it.
Wait for
Ooh.
me. How about
Oh,
her?
that makes sense. Well, okay. Well, it's actually two types of alcohol that you can actually drink, which is would be light beer or non-alcoholic beer, which is more safer than other ones are.
I've never tried beer.
I mean, you can actually you can be get drunk if by light beer, but you have to drink maybe I don't know, perhaps like 8 or 10. Wait, Robo Gamer, are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Wait, didn't you let him in?
yeah, but I didn't expect that he would show up.
What?
I mean, it's just he's not often here. It's just that.
Hey,
There's
man.
a whole lot of business.
So, what you and your brother, your crazy Godzilla half brother, half been up to?
I've been a bedouin for the past few days. Yeah, it's not that fun.
Excuse me.
You good down there?
Yeah.
But anyway, who are all these guys?
Well, I'm me. Prince Chaos
know
is
you.
Prince Chaos. Furious is actually Brianna, but
Hi.
isn't Brianna at the moment. And Brony Dreamer is Brony Dreamer. My God, I know it's shocking. It's a shocker and a half, I tell you. Oh, we're supposed to have this big old storm happening later on this week, but I don't know when it's gonna happen. So that's fun.
Hey, you guys had those dreams where like stuff starts flying out of nowhere?
Oh, I've already been through a tornado warning. There was a tornado right up the road from me.
Same.
Hey,
That was the other night.
yeah.
Things have not been easy.
Trust me, I've been through it too.
Hmm.
How bad are we
Everybody's
talking
getting
about?
tired.
11 p.m.
But hey, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go
Subway.
back and watch this on YouTube. I'll talk to y'all later.
Alright.
Bye.
Hey,
He's over here. Ow! 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 Ow!
what happened?
Oh, I have his toe surgery.
What surgery?
His knees, like toe surgery.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had that.
Trust me, dude. That what he meant. What he told on Facebook yesterday.
Which I don't have.
RoboGamer, is it one of the nail?
Yeah.
Has it really grown under beneath the skin of it in the toe,
Fuck?
which means
I honestly had no idea. I honestly had no clue. I have no clue.
I mean since you had this surgery of your big toe, wasn't it that the nail has been growing under the skin that's causing the pain?
Yes and no.
And that they
How
had
the-
to
How the
trust me,
actual
dude.
fuck
Okay,
did that
let me
happen?
tell you something. Let me tell you what happened.
Well,
They had
here's
to burn the nail off. Like literally. They had to cut the whole toenail off and burn it to make sure it doesn't grow as fast.
yeah, well, he asked how that's possible. Well, I can explain it. If you cut the nail too, let's say, too much as diagonally, to let's say almost like like those slash how does this the slash symbol is like. You know what I mean?
I think so.
If you cut the nail almost like diagonally off, and when that all the way down almost to where as much as visible, and as it's growing back, it will grow under the skin of the edge of the toe, and it will grow much deep down, and that itself will cause pain and can cause infection.
No, get away from me. Get away from me.
And
Get away from me.
trust me, dude. And the only as he and the only treatment for that, and the only treatment for that is that you had to go to the doctor, and they had to put some local.
Numbing medicine.
They had to take. You had been given local adhesive around the toe, and they take type of a scissor, and they cut all the way down to the nail root, and pull that out, the part of the clip. And trust me, it's not a pleasant thing to do because I have done it twice, both on my right and left big toe,
No, it's
and I
funny.
don't feel it.
You know what's really surprising? I saw the toenail in my toe and I almost vomited.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, dude. I know what it's like, and I know the
thing
pain.
is, my brother went through the same thing you went through. Get away
Yeah.
from me.
I can say this. I actually had this happen a third time last year, but luckily though, I didn't need the surgery for that one. Since if I did get some treatment for it, Um, well, I could get another surgery, but the first, the second time we get this the painkiller injections shots in the toe. Afterwards, I was probably given maybe 5 or 6 injections in the big toe when it happened. And even if before they made the surgery, they tested if I could feel any pain or feel anything. I could. So I'd had probably total 8 shots of injections in the big toe for the pain. And even afterwards, I could barely even feel my toe for hours. And trust me, that was um not an unpleasant feeling. It was just I would have to say um more as oh it's more like the feeling is more as not I mean it's like the toe doesn't even exist. You're walking around, but you can feel the toe, but you can actually not feel the whole thing yet. And going through the surgery twice, trust me, is one thing you don't want to go through. And I had to tell you that my experience twice, no again. And my dad has been currently has the same problem for. Ugh, it's not a pleasant feeling. Don't trust me, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's like okay, it's like if you have been dropping a bowling ball or a fry pan on the big toe, or I mean or a
Ew.
brick. That pain almost. It's not a pleasant feeling. I can tell you that much. But sometimes
Okay.
things happen. Sometimes things like that happens when you don't
Your ankle really
really.
hard.
It's a whole lot of pain. So,
At least
let's
being
change
noticed.
the subject.
But at least being we're glad that you wasn't born with this condition that you're completely covered in hair, like those like a werewolf, which is an actual condition.
I know, I know.
And I can say this: people back in the say 16 and 1700s, oh boy, people born with that condition, I don't tell you, they were prosecuted for being werewolves, despite their conditions. Or back in during the 15 and 1600s, when right across Europe, and especially in Massachusetts, Salem, during the 1600s until 1700s with the witch trials. Thousands, thousands of women were prosecuted being a witch. You may think women like in their late teens, like from 18 to their 40s or 50s, could have been executed, being prosecuted, and felt found guilty as being a witch. Uh-uh. Worst case, even young children could have been found guilty being as a witch. And
Hmm.
there were even some men executed as a witch or a wizard, or another word as warlock. Despite how much you tried to complain that you were not guilty. One of the trials during this the test, they literally tied up a person's hands and feet, and they were thrown either in a big river or a lake. If they sank, they were innocent, but they were floating, they were guilty because signs of witchcraft. And as we
Uh,
know, but as we all know now, it's not true. You're always floating up despite that. And here's another thing: people can have been accused of being a witch. It's like, I mean, let's say if you were living in a normal cul-de-sac, And if you have a neighbor to your side where a young woman, let's say if Game Guy has a neighbor who is a woman is around the same age as him, maybe just in her, let's say, between 19 and 20, and another neighbor across the street pointing at her being a witch, accusing her of being doing witchcraft, spying on her, and all that. And if other people actually believe this neighbor, and she could have been dragged into for a whole court, and she could have been executed, either been burned on a stake or been drowned. But even men could also have been this. And it just in Europe itself, what the? Okay, that was. I mean, there were many people who died from this. How many died in Salem witch trials? That's assuming we're still list. Okay. In 1692, the deaths of 25 innocent men, women, children in Salem. But how many people died and in Europe all these witch trials? Jeez. Current scholars estimate the number of people that was between 35 to 50,000 people just in Europe itself. But if you put in Sweden, I know that since it happened in here as well, but about 300 people was burned, or at least died in the trials of witches here. I will tell you, that is probably one of the dark times in the entire Europe's history. It's just, and
Okay, that's a lot.
just in Sweden it was just 300 people, but in Europe, they estimate between 35 to 50,000 people. But that's what they estimate, but it could even be much more. It could have maybe it's been as much as 100,000 people. Who knows? And who knows about this? Who knows if any of us have any distant ancestor who could have been trialed as a witch? Think about it. Since it's possible that the Game Guy's family, from his side of the family, could have someone who has been put on trial as a witch. And or this is mine. But I don't know if there's have any witch trials in Mexico or Indonesia. But being accused of being a witch during that time was the absolute worst. Trust me, that was the worst of any young women could have been accused of. Knowing that they know that their fate would either be drowned or burned on a stake as of being a witch. And here's another thing. Some people have been accused of being accused as a witch, and centuries later have been declared as innocent. Here's one other thing. Anyone could point out. Let's say if anyone puts, like, say, Game Guy's mom, she's a witch, and people start believing them, and she would have been dragged in for trial, and no one knows what happened. Or if my family had the same, that can happen in any small village, small towns, or big cities. Any of this could happen. It's a dark time, especially Salem, Massachusetts. That is a big one. Despite there's only 25 people was executed for being a witch. But there were no such things those people that was accused of being a witch, some of them were not even at all. Some actually could have been just a normal healer. Those who actually took um, herbs for the nature for something to help someone to ease pain or something to make them try to treat someone's injuries and being accused of being a witch. But there are, in fact, today people that actually do studying the natural herbs as a medicinal plants, which is called Wiccans. I'm just saying though, you really shouldn't go around and accuse anyone back then of being a witch. Because what if that could have been backfire on you? I mean, if you accuse your neighbor of being a witch, what if we not just been saying that? What if another one been accusing your family from being witches? Think about it. Anyone back at that time could have been a potential target from being accused of being a witch. Let's say let's say if we were living at that time, and okay, I mean, what if someone says, I mean, not only your sisters, your grandmothers, your aunts, cousins, your own daughters could have been accused of being a witch. I mean, what if okay, if someone had accused, let's say, Game Guy's great grandmother as being a witch,
Yeah.
I know what he would have felt. He would have felt, yeah. I don't know that Game Guy. He would feel furious at anyone accusing his great grandmother being a witch. Like I said, that is the absolute worst anyone at the time that you can actually be accusing anyone for being a witch. They could actually do that. What eight without almost of the people then who end up dying from that. Some of them ever they didn't even had any actual proof, only witness testimony. And sometimes those testimony could have been those witness could have been just lying, pretending that they actually saw they did this, but never did. Think about it. If you were a woman or a man or a child living in that time, to be in the worst of being accused of being a witch or practice any witchcraft, that was like a death sentence almost immediately. And I don't know if there were any people actually was found not guilty. But like I said, being living that time and being accused of being a witch, oh, that was the absolute death sentence almost immediately. Unless you were able to escape from being captured. But yeah, it's just yeah, so Robo Gamer, how's the weed?
Very funny.
Well, technically, wait, do you have a backyard?
Yeah.
Well, you can actually do grow weeds.
Yeah.
I mean, not that smoke type of weed, but those. If you're growing a small patch of land with your flowers or vegetables, and it happen to be some other plants that show up, like that type of weed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That is also another. That's supposed to me is kind of a bit odd. I mean, when someone actually have or a farmer and they have something which is not what they want to have, which is weed, they call that weed. But then the other thing is that you can't smoke, which is actually named marijuana, but it has a nicknamed weed. I don't understand why that though. I know that at least in Canada it is completely legal to smoke weed, and even it's on the streets.
Well, that's the poison.
Yeah, it is, and you cannot even smoke. Okay, according to Lisa Kobo, you can smoke coke, cocaine, or heroin on the middle of the street without being caught. Which I really have a hard time to believe, honestly, considering how those drugs are so strong. Those has been has been categorized as heavy drugs. Okay, if I ask you this, do you guys believe you can actually go to Canada and buy cocaine and heroin and smoke it in public without being caught? Do you even believe that?
No.
No.
Me either. I mean, I can stand weed, probably, but those heavier drugs, I doubt it. I mean, if you were in my country and you were growing cannabis or weed and you got caught, yeah, you would get jail sentence immediately. And if you were having, let's say, if you were living in a state or in a country that were completely legal for medicinal marijuana, and if you travel to another country, which knowing that marijuana is illegal, the question is, if you're required to be taking medicinal marijuana for your condition, is it possible they can actually bring that with you to the country, which is otherwise is illegal, and medicinal marijuana also is illegal in the country? Think about it. But even despite you have a paper from the doctor says that it's completely legal and that you are actually required to taking it. In my country, there's not both growing it your own personal brew use or medicinal one is not legal. I don't understand why. Okay, this might be weird. I know that some people actually can actually smell cyanide, the poison cyanide. It's some form of genetic trait. And according to the people who actually can smell it, to them it smells like almond nut. Hard to believe though. Hey, look, game guy, your girlfriend is back.
Okay, what just happened?
I don't know.
Alrighty, I can't hear what I'm trying to say.
I didn't know how to respond to that, so I gave you the awkward silence. Did it work?
Oh, okay.
Also, who's echoing?
No, you get it.
Brianna. Friggin'
Wow.
technology. Also, that's not.
No.
It's not even
Nope.
Crystal. So
So then you was told
now that she's my girlfriend, but you know what I mean.
walk over there, you know,
Not that she'd ever
tell
be.
her literally get the heck out of here. Sorry, there's some people in the background.
Yeah, it's all echo.
It's probably me.
So, game guy, what have you been up to?
Is someone watching the stream in the background?
It ain't me. I ain't doing it.
Nothing really.
Oh God.
Just chilling.
It's thing. Well, not what. I don't know what's going on. Let's stay. I have to put my headphones back in. God damn it. Can y'all hear me now?
Oh, that was loud.
I knew it. It was me the whole time.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Technology
I can
sucks so far.
relate to that. Technology is can be a pain in the butt.
I'm gonna try this again. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We
Yep.
can hear you, but now we're not getting deafened. So what?
I'm so loud. I don't know why.
Technology. Maybe you've been a
Isn't it
glitch.
great?
It's probably a glitch.
It probably is.
It does this a lot.
That is definitely a glitch.
Yep. And I can't help that. It does it all the time. Tomorrow it won't be glitching, then it might be better.
Hey, Swedish. Swedish.
Robo Gamer wants to speak with you Swedish.
I've seen this video that he made for me. It's not bad. It's not bad.
You mean the Christmas one?
I think so. Hang on, let me take a look at the game.
How come it took you until now to see that?
No, I've seen it a while back.
I was gonna say it's February.
Really?
Actually, March. My point still stands.
You know what's surprising? I'm a bit disappointed in you. Come on.
Oh boy. If I can.
Whoa, language.
I said I was trying to put my charger on the thing. Did I say something?
No, I was just joshing around.
Oh.
That doesn't even make sense considering my name's Kyle and not Josh or whatever. Kyling around? I don't even know what that means. Get that going.
I brought my Sonic doll with me everywhere I go.
Wow. You did something. Oh my god, it's Cody the Dragon. Cody the Dragon Hog, what are you doing here? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Swedish isn't here, right? Well, he is, but he's not on the computer right now. Well, Swedish is currently AFK. So you can't be let in until he comes back. So you're kind of stuck in the private chat. A fate worse than death, truly. What was that?
What was that?
That sounded like a rabbit being choked to death. Which is really morbid, but that's what it sounded like.
Don't make me laugh.
Oh, hey. Hello, Cody the Dragon.
No.
I didn't know Spike was named Cody,
Damn
but
it.
here we go. Here we are. I mean, I know. What? What am I talking about?
So I'm talking to my dog. She's annoying. Damn it.
Oh, that tasted bad.
What the heck just happened?
I was drank something that tasted bad. Yeah. I just wasn't in the kitchen, though. Um, I'm actually I made my own drink with the help of our soda stream machine. It's a good thing to do.
Stop biting me.
Your brother's a pain in the ass.
No, my dog.
What type of dog do you have?
She's a chihuahua. She's annoying. Stop it.
Being fair, we have a Chihuahua as well. And the only thing that most annoying about her is that we can't, the whole family can't leave the house, not even less than for a minute before she starts barking.
If you guys
So-
hear over the, if you guys hear her like growling and stuff, it's not my
Well,
trying to bite.
well, our dog isn't, our dog is not a 100% Chihuahua, actually. She's only 75%. 25% is Palais, or butterfly dog. But she is, otherwise, she isn't that annoying, though. But the only thing is that she's very, if you sit on the couch and she hops up on and sit next to you, she will take the paw and tap on your leg. It's like,
Stop it.
please pet me, please. That's why I prefer cats over dogs. I mean, I don't like dogs. It's just I love dogs, but if I had to be living on my own, I would not been able to have a dog. Since the reason is that if you have a dog here, you would need to take them for a walk almost between every 4 to 6 hours. And if you work for a long, say, if you would work between, say, 10 or 12-hour shift, yeah, that's not working. Because since the dog needs that walks, I mean, I'm like, if you were to go 12 hours at shift and getting home and finding your dog had pee on the carpet and crap on the carpet, it's like, are you serious, dog? Well, okay, how does have any of you guys ever seen
Okay.
uh,
No.
have you guys ever seen Futurama, by the way, any chance?
I have.
It's not
Cody,
bad.
Robert
Yeah.
Gamer, have you guys seen
Yeah.
have you guys seen Futurama, by the way? Hello, by any
Yeah.
chance?
Yeah.
Oh, I will tell you, I saw that one particular episode where Fry, with the professor and Bender, they travel to the future. Well, in a machine that was apparently called forward time machine. They can only go forward, not backwards.
Interesting.
And as they travel to any far future, humanity, as the new New York, had fallen in ruins. That was in like 10,000 years later, and during Ice Age, humanity was still alive, but just like they were back in the Stone Age level. In that time, during that time, 10,000 years, cows had become the dominant species of the planet, and they became wiped out. Then the birds, and then some slug-like creature became the dominant species because each one of them actually had the Statue of Liberty version of each one standing next to each other. That was hilarious. And the professor, he tried to fire his from some form of laser and tried to kill Hitler from machine so that he wouldn't even reborn, so that he wouldn't prevent the Second World War. And he did the first time, Second time, he didn't actually kill Hitler, but he killed Eleanor Roosevelt instead. Here's another thing. The first time they travel, they keep traveling all the way to time when to by the end of the universe, like the end of entire universe before it's supposed to end. And then suddenly, boom, a whole Big Bang type of explosion. And suddenly, they have traveled to a whole new formation of a new universe. And suddenly, Earth was appearing, the moon, and everything happened once again. They were been apparently that when our universe ended and the next universe came afterwards, it was a complete identical as the previous one. So they traveled maybe two more times, and at the second time they had traveled and stopped. But here's was the most kicker: when they stopped at the right moment when their time machine had left, they had traveled, and they were only like 6 feet above the original ground. So apparently they were stuck on the same position the whole time, but
Peppa,
almost
give me
traveling from four different universes, they had actually traveled at the level of the ground had changed. Or one episode where Fry meets his grandfather in an army base in Roswell, 1947.
Hey, no.
Uh,
Leave
what
it alone.
happened that his grandfather died
I'll be right
in.
back.
All right, as his grandfather actually died in an atomic bomb explosion test.
Let me guess. He bangs his grandmother.
But how is it possible if his grandfather died before his son was that his father was even born? He would have been faded away.
No, yeah.
But he didn't.
I think I have a
But he-
perfectly good explanation for this.
But it turned out he didn't even do that because shortly after that, his grandfather having died in an explosion. He actually went to comfort his grandfather's fiance, which happened and then doing the deeds. And turned out he is the father of his own dad, and that apparently so that he is the the grandfather of his older brother. In a sense, that's what's a classical grandfather paradox. I mean, like if you travel back in time, killing your grandfather, that means preventing yourself from being born.
No, that's trippy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's actually a paradox. Well, actually, that depends. That depends exactly when you will travel when you decide to kill your grandfather. If you did that before, when he was still as a kid, then you would not have been existed. But if you killed your grandfather, even was an accident or on purpose, after that he had his first child, then it's possible you could still be born. Because if that child would eventually be your dad, and that he was born after that you killed your grandfather, if he was born and that you killed your grandfather after that his son was born, then you could still be born as normal. But if before that, yeah, but there is also other alternates. Like if you would go as far back in killing your grandmother, or um, I don't know. It's That's the main rule when it comes to time travel. If time travel would have been impossible in reality, it would have become some laws that would be trying to prevent any form of altered timeline. Because unlike, okay, I know that if technology for time travel was available and it was actually real, we can all assuming that some people would try to go back in time to prevent some major historical events. It's like killing Hitler either before he was before he was even born, or even before the Second World War started, even before 1939. And if you did that, you would be the only person in history would have had known the knowledge that the war actually did happen. If you travel back to your time and the outcome of that killing Hitler, for example, that has huge drastic change. Think about it. Like, since those millions of people that supposedly died in the war never did.
Hey, y'all, I gotta go real quick.
All right.
I'll be back.
But if, like I said, if we were traveled as far, and despite those millions of soldiers and civilians that supposedly died in the war, they could eventually die at some point later on, though. Let's say if a man was supposed to die, say 1940 in the war, but he apparently didn't die that year, and that he had died maybe 1960 or perhaps even 1980, perhaps years later. And many of the outcome of their change in timeline was not a good option, because considering those countries in the world, say Soviet, they still actually been around, and those countries that say half of Germany belong to Russia, and it will still have that. And in the Cold War between America and US, Russia and US may not even existed, and US may not even have invented a atomic bomb ever. That means either Nagasaki or Hiroshima would have been wiped out. You just imagine that. If you would travel as far back in time, changing a major historical event, like say prevent the Second World War from happening, it's one thing. You can never even predict the outcome. That is impossible predicting it. If you were, let's say, or like it's like say if Game Guy would travel back, say maybe 6 months back, and when had this huge national lottery is the biggest for you can actually win on it. So say for it feels like $10 million, and he knew and he remembers the numbers of that lottery, and he travels back in time and tells maybe his mom or perhaps Roy to buy a ticket and put those numbers, and boom, $10 million richer. That can also affect a lot of people's the whole timeline. I mean, what if, okay, if someone actually would travel back in time to the last U.S. election, and somehow they change the votes to majority to Donald Trump instead of Biden, that would mean that Trump would have been the president at this moment instead of Joe Biden. Think about it. But Game Guy, how would you feel if that happened? How would you feel that happened? That Trump would win the second election again?
A bit surprised.
What? How do I put this thoroughly? I would ask Dylan if I could join him in the UK. and probably never come back.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, okay. How about this? If Trump would have during his first term, what if he managed to convince all the government to change from the 2 mandate period times to lifetime, meaning that a president can sit for a lifetime instead for 8 years.
Oh, God,
Imagine
that's-
that. Just imagine that, dude. Instead for 8 years, but you can have Trump until he's like 100 years old.
I would have ended myself.
Yeah, I would like. Well, buying a ticket and move back to Europe. Oh goodness, that yeah. I mean, yeah. Hey Alexis, hello. Yeah, I mean it's like okay. We know that in UK that Queen Elizabeth II's older son Charles is now the king. Um, I don't
Right.
know if they, but I don't think they haven't have his official coronation yet. Um, I don't know, but if they had, but he's now known as Charles the Third, and and but I can say this: there is actually some people in United Kingdom that wish to abolish the British royal family and have a president instead. I mean, it's not surprising because considering that how many there is actually only like 40 plus countries in the world that still is monarchy, like Sweden, but my country's king has no any absolute power anymore. He has no official powers at all anymore. And okay, um, whoa, okay.
Oh, that's not good. Oh boy.
Well, what's
Uh.
happening over there?
Microphone, I swear to fuck. I had no idea. It just freaked out on me for a second there. I don't know what happened.
Hey, have any of you seen this web series called Red vs. Blue? It's hilarious.
Hold on, I think I fixed it.
How would you guys feel if since that after yeah, could it is possible they might announce it soon enough. I mean, I hadn't even heard anything actually. But here's a question: since you guys know that since after the Revolutionary War, when the colonies became as independent, but how would you felt if they had chosen uh, Washington not be as a president, but he had his
Stop it.
instead for being a president, but what if he actually became United Kingdom and the United States first king instead?
I don't know.
But even though he has been chosen as the king instead for president, his role would have been short because he and his wife Martha they didn't have any kids. So it would like, well, what if who else would rule in the country as a king if George Washington didn't have any children of his own? Easy. That would have continued with his brother. apparently, mainly in Europe, where if a male descendant has been died out, they can always be finding other male relatives, like say an uncle, cousin, or even other brother or a son in a family that can take the role. But if since they will always focus anyone else in their main role of family, that could be take the role. Let's say, uh, like Washington's brother, he actually got had children of his own, and from I read actually, that there's still descendants to Washington, but not directly from George Washington, but from his brother. And even this, Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks is actually related to Abraham Lincoln.
There was no way.
There is way for that.
No.
Interesting.
Think so. Let me see.
Hey y'all, I'm back.
Hey, all Scott here.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, you were talking
related-
about Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Here we go. Tom Hanks related to Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. According to this, let's see here. Uh, ah, uh, Ancestry.com's genealogy has confirmed that Hanks is therefore Lincoln's third cousin 4 times removed.
Oh,
He is actually related to Abraham Lincoln 4 times removed,
I see.
which is a long distance. Oh, sheesh. Sorry, Malachite, you can't join in unless I do this. Wait. Give me a second.
Alright. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ow!
What's,
Leave me alone.
what's up, Michigan spy?
Ha ha ha.
No, I mean spy, dude. As a spy.
Oh no, I haven't signed up for the agency yet.
No, but RoboGamer has. Because
What?
he is Arkansas spy.
Okay.
Spying on the British for a second invasion. Just kidding, dude.
Yeah, he's the hurricane that's waiting for disaster.
Hey, what was that laugh?
Yeah. Because his farts is deadly as the hurricane. And
Okay,
smelly
that's
too.
That's a bit much.
I'm back.
But to be fair, Malachites, when he farts, it's like, wait, is that a fart or was that I don't know, a hurricane?
Eh,
What I miss? Well, I missed Malachi coming in, but what else did I miss?
and
Not much.
when our buddy call you the Dark Hog farts, you can't tell if that was a fart or a foghorn.
So, Cypress or Malachite or Palm Tree, what you been up to?
Let me get again. What? Yeah.
Currently eating at the moment.
Oh yeah, by the way. I didn't say anything. That's good.
Eating Hot Pockets.
Oh, it's okay.
Question: do you guys think there's any grandson to any of the previous um if there's any direct descendants of uh President John Tyler, which is still alive today?
I mean, it's possible.
Well, considering it that John Tyler was actually the president, he was the he was actually the 10th president, born in 1790, and he actually has one living grandson, which is 91 years old.
Wow.
And it's like,
That's
how is it
funny.
even possible that he could actually have a grandson that's still alive today if he was born in 1790 and died 1862?
Mm,
How is it even possible? Because unless that the person lived for more than 100 years,
maybe his
but
maybe one of his
but
kids got married and they had a grandson prior to the early 20th century.
uh actually, yeah, perhaps maybe, but it turned out that um his his sons, actually, John Tyler actually married two women. Well, two different times actually. Each one was actually younger than him, and he has, I think, he had two or three sons, which each one, uh, I think he did. I think it's like that, and one of those named Lion, not S with I, but Y with Y. He had a son when he was also married a young woman. Um, no, wait, actually, it was not the president, but his son Lion, who actually had sons with two young women during the two separate times, and that, I believe the second one he was, I think, when he was in his 40s or early 50s, or I think maybe 60. I believe it was around 60 or 70 years old when he had his second. I believe his Tyler's son actually had, with both marriage, since the first wife died sometime after that, and since the second one, but combined with both, he had, I think, it was 8 or 9 children total together, and the only one is that is a direct grandson to him is still alive, and that's is pretty much amazing. And here's another thing. I believe this was actually back in 1965 when an American, some form of, I don't know if that show is even around anymore, but the TV host actually was interviewing an older man who was around 99 or 100 years old, who was actually the last living person who saw the assassination of Lincoln in person at this theater.
Wow.
Yeah. Considering, and he was just a young boy at the time. And being 100 years old and being able to live that long and to telling the story, I was like, that's incredible. It's, I mean, people back, say, today, the average lifespan is around 80 or 90 years old. In depends, of course, on for which country in the world, since like Japan, which has one of the most highest life lifespan, which is around from between 90 almost 100, um, and Europe itself is around that. And but if you go back, say, to compare it like modern times, which is now, like I said, for between 80 and 90 average, But if you go back to like 10,000 years ago, like the Stone Age, average lifespan at that time was not even close. Like most people died either between age 30 or age 40 was the average lifespan. Because it was much higher, there was much harder life. Considering that you didn't have any permanent homes at a time, and that you were hunting, and you were hunting other big animals like mammoths or wild boars, and if you've been attacked by someone, a big animal, you can easily be died. And if you get an infection, yeah, there was no antibiotics or anything to treat it with. And if you live as a fisher and not lived on any other suppliers like hunting or anything, fishing, yeah, that's not like, as it from my own experience. If you were using just a fishing pole, you don't expect to get any fish every single time. That can also be let many people starve also. But as I've been saying, knowing this, that, and as Cyphers also know, that in Jeff Dunham's over map tour, when he went to Iceland, when Jeff mentioned that the life expectancy on Iceland is between 90 and 100 years old for women, then seeing his doll Walter's reactions like, "Get my wife the hell away from here," or something
I
like that.
thought Jeff said lifespan was 9,200 years.
No, it's actually between 100, between 90 and 100. But as like I said, if you just go like 200 years ago, the life expectancy was probably mid 50s or maybe early 60s. But the oldest person as the record was actually 122 years old. And that's incredible. I mean, of course, there are many people around the world that claims that they are actually much higher older than that. They are from between 130 and 140 years old. But that can't be. But those claims can't be taken seriously because if you don't have any birth certificate proving that they can claim, showing proof that the age that you were born at. Let's say if Cypress his uncle, if he says that let's say that he was 125 years old, and that and people ask for the claims or that any actual proof of like his birth certificate or maybe his like an ID to prove that he was born that year. But if the person can't provide any form of any actual proof, those claims cannot be taken seriously. And there are many countries in the world that doesn't even have the same type of security, this security numbers that many countries has, like in the US or as Europe has. So many people that has claims, like say those from Africa or from India, can claim that they have lived for 130 years, but without any actual papers that showing that when the exact date or the year you were born, it can't be proven. For that time, has been many people claim to be in life for 150 years or even as 200. But here's another thing. As we get more and more advanced within medical field with medicine, treatments, and other procedures, we can now expecting to live much longer lifespan. And I actually heard that children that's born from between 2000 and 2010 have a higher chance to live to be as 100 or maybe as 105.
I'm 25 right now.
I am 32 myself.
Ow.
But
Is that
some
loud?
people saying that Some experts may think that we can expect to maybe live as 200 years. But one person, I don't remember the name of the person, claims that we can live as a 1,000 years. But my honest opinion and my of that is bull crap. No one can live for 1,000 years. No way. There's no way that anyone can live that long.
Like at 90,
I mean,
well, if they have perfect health, then possibly.
yeah, I mean, okay, perhaps if you have, unless, okay, if you would be able to live for 1,000 years, that depends if you have your, let's say, if you have your heart been failing after some time, you get a new heart. Like, say, if you have parts of your own organs to being cloned to like a new, younger version heart in you, new set of lungs and all that, and if you give it some medicine treatments, then perhaps you can live for 1,000 years. But that's a little bit far fetched, is for stretching this idea. But otherwise, but some experts may think that we can live as 100 or maybe 150 or perhaps 190 years. But honestly, I think maybe 150 might be more the most logic to be considering. But that's not impossible, considering that if we go like 10,000 years ago, if anyone had even lived 100 years at that time, that would have been considered as a miracle. But today, we do. But here's another thing about that. Despite we have the incredible advanced medicine treatments, we, as humanity, we are slacking off. We're basically a lot of more now. We can just be now we're the modern technology. If you have work with computers, you can just sitting at home doing computer work, and a lot of teenagers, and don't take me wrong, a lot of teenagers from the age 10 to their 20s spend a lot more time with computer gamings, like serious gaming, and doing that they can eat, drink at the computer and gain weight. Along with a lot of young generations these days are getting more overweight. Do I know that? And that's the problem. That is the main problem when it came to technology with gaming. I mean, let's say from this: what if video games never was invented? I think that could probably the best thing. What if like say Nintendo, Sega, they decided to quit doing any production of any video games ever and decide to focus on something else, like more as normal traditional games like card games or anything like that instead? Perhaps. But I'm saying this, some of the technology this way and at this age is impressive. But also it depends a lot. I'm not saying that our generation is even just slanging around, just don't do any exercise.
That's
But I can,
also true.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people or a lot of younger generations, they're slacking off and just playing a lot. They don't do any quite serious
Actually,
exercise.
Swedish.
Hmm?
You want to know a fun little fact?
What?
Before Nintendo got into the video game business, they actually made Hanafuda cards.
Yeah, I know that.
They're like playing cards, but in Japanese. That's what they used to do. They still make them to this day. They're really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, they don't even
think
make
about it.
Sonics.
Yeah,
They
and
don't even make Sonic games anymore.
Of course,
Or
Sega does. Nintendo doesn't.
or about this, like Pokemon Go came out. That's it. That was actually a whole new type of game system. You can actually play the game on your phone, and the main reason were actually that the company wanted that the younger generations wanted them to move to start to they wanted the younger generations to start exercise and having Pokemon Go as an option on their phone. As I mean, that itself was not a bad approach. I mean, the concept idea having a game on their phone like to capture Pokemon and being doing a traveling, walking around, or even use that your bike or even something like that. Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. But the word is like negative in that it's just some people actually took the car and sit in the car while playing the game. And that's what it is negative about the part of that. But Pokemon Go, when it came out, it was not a bad. It was not a bad idea. I mean, what if that's what if like they decide to do something similar with a Mario game or a Sonic game as in a phone like with a Pokemon Go, like Mario Go or Sonic Go, something like that. Okay, in the concept, it's not a bad idea. A bad idea. I mean, if Pokemon has done it, why not Mario or Sonic or any other franchise? I mean, just imagine it. If Pokemon has done it and they had over a billion
Someone
users.
like I think you're right. Everything is just it's Sega, Nintendo, Mario Kart, all that is true now.
Oh yeah,
And
I mean, yeah, I can understand that many people. I mean, as for our generation or the current young generation, many are being just focused on playing games like say Mario or even World of Warcraft, which I've seen people doing it take that game quite serious. But I can say, well, I grew up. I never played much any video games as much as Game Guy did. I mean, I did play the video games from time to time, but I
Can't
was not
deny it.
much. But I never actually get interested in myself to play that much games. But I did play mostly computer games. Like I did play Pokemon Blue and Red, but only for a short time. Other than that, I played Doom, the original Doom game on the computer. Um, Other than that, I actually, or I did play Pokemon Stadium a couple of times. That was actually fun. But if I had to say Wii Sports, like archery or bowling, now that game was actually fun. Um,
until now, they've ruined it.
True. I mean, I had never been much as a gamer as in a sense like that as many really are hardcore gamers, but I wouldn't mind to play some games like say Street Fighters or maybe something like that. Like I hadn't even played Super Mario Smash either or like that. Smash Bros. I don't know. And I mean, I like to say I'm not saying that I would even try the game. I would. It just I had never actually been interested as much to buying those type of consoles, or especially the new Xbox X or Xbox S series.
Hey, where's Robo Game will go?
No, I don't know what. Yeah, probably had to do something else.
Alright.
But just nope, he's back. Just kicked him. He was probably kicked out. But just saying that. I mean, saying it like say. I mean, saying from this. As many like I said, when the Pokemon, let's say Xbox X came out, that was one of the most newest game consoles within Xbox. And if I wanted one, if I wanted one, I probably wouldn't even afford it because there was a high price on them at the time when it was brand new. Or if I want to buy an Xbox, I probably say and probably Xbox One or Two. Or if I want a PlayStation, I could probably buy a used PlayStation 2 or something, or a PlayStation PS5, or even perhaps a GameCube or all that kinds of things. I would never want to be buy the brand new game consoles right away because they can be expensive and also have a very much sold out almost immediately unless you pre-order it.
You know what I do not get sometimes? No, how come I don't get how some games are pay to win.
I know that's okay. Have you any of you ever played hockey games, but not on a PC or anything like that, but more as one of those like you have this like a stick that you have to move and twist in order to the player to move.
Huh?
Have any of you guys ever played
Huh.
that type of game before?
That almost sounds like an Atari game.
Yeah, that's actually more as those type of games that were commonly from I think the 60s up to the 90s.
Yeah,
Or-
the best example I can think of is Atari, where literally the controller was just a base and a giant stick with a button on it. It was not
Okay.
the best, but it was the first real video game controller we had.
Okay, air hockey. Have you guys played?
I love air
Yeah.
hockey. Oh, it's so good.
We actually had it one time our own, but the thing either sold it or threw it away.
Oh,
It was probably not the one I would even use. That's actually a good thing. And I love to play pool. Billiards, or it's also called. Actually, that reminds me, when I was in 8th grade, a classmate of mine, he actually built his own at school. A smaller version of it, but it was actually, considering that type of game is kind of actually fun. But I had never actually played this actual real version of it for some reason.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. I was saying
Yep.
Sega. Okay, why Sega do not like Sonic 06? Play on Sonic 06. They're trying to get Sonic 06 back.
Yeah, I think I actually heard something similar that they are talking about bring it back and remake it. But
Yeah,
Here's-
exactly.
I know that a lot of people actually had played the game, and being fair, tons of people hated the original Sonic 6 game. Where there's a lot of glitches and all that. But I wouldn't even know because I never actually played the game.
I never played the game because honestly, that game sucks anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. I probably would play Sonic Olympics.
I love that. My favorite
I
is
had
kind of my favorite
that-
is kind of Blaze.
well, that depends, of course, on which year, since they have what was that, 2 or 3 versions of the games that were released on different years that was involved with the Olympics. But I probably would try all of them actually. I know that my girlfriend's
Can-
brother, he has multiple different games and consoles. I think he has a PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch.
I used to
Here's
have
a bucket.
Nintendo Switch.
He has, but I don't have any. I actually never played
Mhm.
anyone. But if I would try to buy anything like a Nintendo Switch, perhaps. I mean, but I wouldn't even try to be as like those hardcore players when I probably only play the games when I was feel up for it. I mean, if I were to play Wii Sports, that was probably one of my favorite games comes in like that system I prefer.
Hmm.
But if
I
I
want
just
to say
say if I,
esports was my favorite. I think it was more like Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, I had never
Yeah.
even played that. Okay,
What?
RoboGamer.
No, you have not played that.
No, I had never played Call of Duty. Never.
Oh my, dude, it is awesome. Call of Duty is awesome.
Uh, okay, first,
What?
oh boy. Look, who's here?
Hi.
Dude, you're already like over and a half.
sir, are late. You, sir, are late.
I'm a bit confused. with
What
this
the
guy.
fuck were you doing?
Hi.
Probably at school.
Kobo, stop running away from the love of your life over there and say something, will you?
What? I'm not talking
Sorry.
to you.
I just came back from my groceries.
Yeah, roleplay, sure.
Hi.
You were just hiding from the girl
Hello?
that's got a crush on you because you secretly have a crush on her. Isn't that right?
No comment.
I'm
Hey, I'm right here.
I know.
Yeah, I saw it. I recognize your name, like always.
How can
No.
you recognize her
Buena,
name?
hello.
No, whatever. So, is there anything else you were going to tell us, Mr. Swedish?
That's the reason I came here.
Yeah, Cole was in detention for 1 month. He was late for school.
You shut
Yeah, probably. You, sir, is so late that even the banana be turned brown by now.
Yeah, guys.
Actually, Malachi, you want to know a fun little fact? That was actually a thing in my school. If you were late too much, you got detention. Not sure why you got detention for that. It's kind of a stupid reason to get detention, but it was.
Nah, most teachers nowadays just look for more reasons to put students in detentions. Because school system.
I'm gonna be right on mine.
Same here. Mine was okay for the most part. Okay, I have a funny story for you guys. More as not like as a story, more as a joke. You guys know that the Dracula drinks blood, right?
Well, of
Right.
course.
Yuck.
Did you know that Dracula actually became vegan?
What?
Say what now?
Because he drinks something else.
Is it nectar?
Nope. He actually drinks from blood grape.
A blood grape?
The pomegranate.
Wait. Give me a second. I don't remember. This actually is this is actually this is actually a fruit. Let me see what it actually have its English name is since. My gosh. This computers always get slower now when I'm streaming for some odd reason. No. Okay. Okay. Dracula's favorite new vegan treatment is blood orange.
Blood orange.
You get it? Yeah, blood orange. I mean, it's actually it's a normal orange, but it's red blood orange.
About time Dracula liked up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, I do enjoy the dishes sometimes, but
At least one thing. If Dracula tries to drink Cypress blood, let's say he will be like, dude, you have been eating too much. Your blood is too low iron count. I prefer to be buying somewhere else. Okay, I mean, I have seen on Robert Chicken on YouTube, Dracula goes to the doctor, and his blood pressure is -0 of under pressure of 0, and it's okay. When he stands up, well, let's say his privates, like his balls, hit the floor. I mean, not they are just, yeah. There's
And also, I doubt he'll try and drink Koval's blood because I think Dracula's on a diet.
because you know what? Because his blood isn't even red. It's because it's yellow. Too much Chinese food.
Blue blooded.
Guys,
And
Old blood.
and Blaze the Cat's blood is probably blue.
I was gonna say purple.
yeah, actually, purple.
Too much.
It's like
Hey guys, I'm not talking to you.
Mine is probably black.
Yeah.
Too much coal.
Goodness.
And Game Guys is probably gold.
I think mine's like the same.
Why
as everybody
gold?
else's, like red.
You're the golden boy
too
of
much-
the group.
Too much. Well, too much fish. I mean, that's an
Really?
example. And the Robo Gamers is probably white.
But I have a strong fielded hatred towards seafood.
How
Hey guys,
dare you?
What? I think it's disgusting.
I know, just messing with you, dude.
hey guys, I'm gonna get off. It was nice talking to everybody though.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
okey dokey
And don't get high.
I'm not.
Although, don't
not at
you
the moment.
dare take my jokes, even though they're terrible. Ay, ay, ay.
So, Kuva, what you been doing? School?
Ah!
Don't
Well,
die on us.
but I'm just playing a little and eating Jolly Rangers.
Power Rangers?
No, Jolly Rangers.
Rangers.
I don't know what you
Ranchers,
said.
mean.
They're flavored lifesavers, more likely.
Excuse me. Ugh,
It's like hard candy.
never even heard of.
Wow. I mean, to be fair,
You
you're already
really
in the
have
different
missed a
countries.
lot.
You probably don't have-
Okay, can you spell that in a private so I know what you meant? Since I couldn't even actually hear what you said there.
Oh wow, he already put it down there.
Yoli Rancher. Yeah, I never actually heard it. Let's see what it is. What it looks like.
It's like
Here.
it's like a Tootsie Roll, except it's hard.
And for
Kinda.
sour food
Tootsie
flavors.
Roll? Tootsie Roll I actually had, but Yoli Rancher is, I don't think is actually sold here. But come on, are you serious, computer? Oh, there we go. But assuming that there might not be, I don't think that candy is actually sold here, but it's presumed that it perhaps been sold somewhere in Europe, perhaps, but not here. But it's possible they are making some candy like similar to that, which is possible considering that. I mean, considering how many brands of candies there is, like say when it comes to like chocolates, like you have Kit Kat, you have Hershey's, and in my country we have a whole different version of that. We had something similar to Mars chocolate bar, but it's called Jap. It's pretty the same. Um, it's it's similar like that. We even had this, and we even have organic Coca-Cola.
Huh. I see.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I had never even know whether that existed because since my dad actually has been um, buying things from online to this type of website, which usually contains perhaps drinks like energy drinks or well anything like that or pop soda that's never got sold or even candy or other things that has short expire date on it and or they could have been some we do have some form of Christmas drink here which is only sold during the Christmas time, but there's another version that's only sold during the Easter time. Those drinks sometimes when doesn't get sold, you can actually buy from from that website, and not only that, you can buy candy, uh, medicine, I believe, and not maybe not medicine, but more as spices like curry and all that kind of things. It's
Hmm.
kind of interesting. There's um, if I had been like translated from my country's language, it would be like food smart, kind of. I had never even ordered anything from that since. Well, I had never ordered anything from online, never, and I
I
don't
see.
even know how to do it.
Mm.
If I have want something to be ordered online, I talk to my dad. He knows exactly what to do. If there's a book or snack or something, yeah, probably. I mean, I around Christmas,
Or
wish that
weed.
I could have problems like that, and especially around Christmas, I wanted to have this particular lightsaber hilt for as a Christmas gift. It's my
Lightsaber.
problem. Yeah, I mean, as the hilt that you those the holder, the lightsaber,
Oh yeah.
that one you can actually buy. Which there is companies around the world that's either 3D printed those lightsabers or even build, and they can be from designs from Anakin Skywalker's first lightsaber. It can be Yoda's. They can be uh, Obi-Wan. It can be Yoda. Basically, any Jedi Masters or even Dooku's curved lightsabers. But the one particular lightsaber I wanted, it costed me. They would have been cost me 8.5 grand for it.
Wow.
Yeah, well, if it were to be convert to my country's currency, but dollars it would be around $700. And when I told my dad about it, he was like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope." I knew already that he wouldn't even spend almost not almost almost like $8,500 or well, he wouldn't even spend 8.5 thousand for just a lightsaber for like that. So but he just as using it as a decoration or memorabilia. But he did buy me one lightsaber, which actually has uh which has different colors, not just one. It's red, yellow, purple, pink, light blue, yellow, and white.
My favorite part is purple.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Star Wars, when the lightsaber came, lightsaber colors, there is many different color versions, like purple or magenta, which is also called purple. Is one of the rare ones, and is blue, yellow, blue and green, and yellow. Yellow is only associated with a temple guard. Each color in the lightsabers actually focus on different brand of type of title that's for Jedi's, like Jedi scholars or Jedi guardians or temple guards, something like that. But red has always been associated with their arch enemy, the Sith. But in fact, some Jedi's actually have been using red lightsabers, but it's not much as that common though. Um, both in the canon and expanded universe, sorcerers of the lightsaber, which is the kyber crystal, the one that actually makes the color itself.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually most planets they are actually natural grown, and some planets that which the Jedi go to have been sacred to them for centuries, like Ilum or others, which they had to listen to the crystal calling out for them. But there is also synthetic crystals, meaning they are man-made kyber crystals, and there is those red crystals that the Sith use, which um, is manufactured man-made crystals. But here's the thing: the red crystals can actually, which is filled with the dark side, but they can be purified with the light side user. But the side effect of that is that the crystal itself, turn white. And Ahsoka Tano, she's the only one known that has had done the process. And both in canon sources and the new movies, actually, the planet Ilum, which the Jedi's went to get the crystals, it was taken over by the Empire, and they mined the whole planet for most of it. And that same planet eventually turned into Starkiller Base, the same planet killer. And yeah, it's like, but if I would have to say, if I want to have a lightsaber color, I'd say either blue or either blue or purple.
Mm,
And for Game Guy, even though he's not a Star Wars fan, but I think maybe he'll say perhaps blue or something like that. Um, but there is actually even other type of rare colors. There is even bronze, gold, but those are really rare. Oh boy, I wonder if I was if I was a Jedi, and I wonder if I were to take someone as apprentice. Um, Probably not Kuvu, since not because that he probably would not taken by anyone else. I probably would have taken perhaps Blaze or perhaps Game Guy, so not my apprentice. You may also heard that you can only have one apprentice at a time, but that is not
yeah.
has always. But that is not has not always been, because in the
Yeah.
early years of during the early years of the old Jedi Order, multiple different Jedi's, including knights or masters, could have two, perhaps three apprentice,
Yeah.
and especially during the second or during the first Jedi Purge,
Yeah.
which which happened around 3000 BBY, with only a handful of survivors, since it happened like they wanted to have more. They wanted to rebuild the order, so they took multiple apprentices. Like Luke, when he started the new Jedi Order in expanded universe, he had 12 students, and each one was actually his apprentice. But
I mean, he
later,
was the teacher of Kylo Ren, though, right?
Actually, that is in canon, but in the expanded universe, he had 12, and Kylo Ren was not even, yeah, um, but in canon, in expanded universe or Legends, he had only 12 at the start, but he sent out a message to the rest of the galaxy that any other survivors were welcomed to join the Order, and many former knights or masters who were in hiding actually came forward and joined the Order. And one of those knights was Jason Solo, aka Darth Kaitis. He was
Never heard of, but
he is actually the son of Han and Leia, twin
Huh?
brother. Yeah, and he's a twin brother to Jaina Solo, and older brother to Anakin Solo in expanded universe. Um, he he turned to the dark side. He was eventually killed by his own twin sister, and but he also had a daughter of his own with another Jedi Knight. But she was she was actually Queen Mother, which is the royal title of the planet where she was from. Well, she was living on. But their daughter was actually force sensitive also. Um, but during that particular Second Galactic Civil War, they put the daughter Alana in the hands of Han and Leia to be raising her and also keeping her safe from any potential assassins or something like that, if they even knew about her. And also in expanded universe, Luke actually did marry a woman named Mara Jade. She was actually a former Imperial. She was actually an agent of Palpatine, and they actually had and they had a son which named Ben Skywalker. Um, but at some point, he did got married and have at least one or two children. And after 100 years, there were at least the last known in the family of the Skywalker was only three males: Cole and Nate, both Jedi Masters. Nate left the Order at some point and actually married a woman and adopted her daughter and two other kids. He never actually had any physical, any biological children of his own, but his brother Cole had one named Cade Skywalker. But Cade, let's say he actually abandoned the Jedi ways and became a smuggler, a pirate, after when his father was killed during the massacre of Ossus. And the Sith, they actually re-emerged once again, but this time, this was only they had followed the new rule, the rule of one, meaning there can only be one main leader of the Sith, not the rule of two, which the other Sith have followed for centuries. And
Oh,
this particular one Sith leader is named Darth Krayt. He is actually a Jedi, well, a former Jedi survivor, and he eventually died when Cade pushed his body in a ship to Coruscant's main star in order to burn his body because he came back to life multiple ways, like with cloning or using some sort of form of re-erection power or something like that. And he spent actually even time in he even spent time in suspended animation from time to time in order to save his life. When he died, he was over 100 years old. I think around 110 or 130 or like that. But there was actually one woman in an old Jedi Order when she vanished in expanded universe lore, she was actually at the time 203 years old.
Hmm.
And force sensitive people can actually live to be as 200 years old. But otherwise, they will live for between 120 or 130 years.
I mean, seeing how old Yoda was when he died, yeah, they lived for a long time.
Well, that's the fact that his species has that lifespan of 900 years as a standard time. As the
Oh,
Wookiees, yeah, and as the Wookiees, they live 400 years,
oh,
and separatist commander's Dirge, which is also a bounty hunter, his species live between 4,000 to 7,000 years. And there is another species that is called um, what's it called again? Nettie, and they live for 5,000 years, and they can spend centuries in hibernation. But this particular species, though, these are not even like anything because they are like a plant life form. They can grow their bodies up to as I think maybe as 20 feet tall, and can take a shape as a human or humanoid. And how to say that? But one Jedi Master who actually served both in the old and the new Jedi Master Order, named Crook. He was actually only about 190 plus years old. Since his species lived for about 250 years, give or take. And yeah, if you were living in the Star Wars galaxy, there's one species that you would have to stay away from. That would be Ansati, or Ansanti, because they have this ability to to release some form of tentacles from the face, and that would actually enter a man's or a person's nose up to the brain and feet of the supposed the force, which in a way, when that happens, after the process is done, the person is dead.
but of course,
I'll be right back, Rhino.
And that species has a lifespan around 900 years.
Hmm.
But only one, well, in the expanded universe, confirmed to live 1,000 years. But here's the part. If any other member of that species would try to feed on this, as they call it, the soup in someone's brain, they can't stop because it's a very addictive. For them, it's like to them it's like heroin as for us,
Oh, I see.
and as they like the Huts, it's also one of the long-lived species. They can live for at least 1,000 years. As I remember seeing your reaction when I said that Jabba the Hutt was 600 years old.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's only one Hutt that lived to be as 1,700 years old.
Oh my.
And yeah, and one Hutt actually managed to survive with half of his head blown off.
What?
Yeah. That's pretty weird. But and even this the Hutts, they actually is like the snails in our world, hermaphrodite, meaning they don't require a second partner in order to have an offspring. So Jabba has a son named Rhoda, which could have been actually his own son, and he could be the mother / father at the same time. thing about it. I mean, okay, if you would like to say, if you were like the Wookiees, well, less hairy, but it had the lifespan to live for between 200 and 400 years. Um, I would say probably do that.
He's Swedish.
Yep.
Koval could be the Star Wars character that alien character that stuck out the long tongue when the one character said, "Hey, we're not
Right.
here to go shopping and such," and he stuck out that long tongue. Koval could be that character.
You mean
Long-eared alien?
you mean Jar Jar Binks?
Yes.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
a Gungan. A Gungan. Yeah, he could probably do that.
Nah, I will be
And-
more like the style of Anakin Skywalker, but a bad
I-
version.
And I think that one species that snipers belong to.
No. I
Ewok.
I'd rather fall into the category of robot because I'd rather be an R2D2 that can talk but not speak words.
Nah, you're more
Okay.
like a yo.
Okay, how about this? Do you think there's any Jedi that's actually an Ewok?
That would be kind of funny.
That's Chewbacca.
There is
count?
actually one. There is actually one.
Hmm.
But they are also very rare. But there's
But I wonder
Ooh.
which species have the most midichlorians.
The most species at the most number. Oh, yeah, hard to say actually. Since here's the thing. Some species have is when they discover Jedi travels to different planets, when they sent from mission have been called there by the Force, and they could be drawn to any particular individual that's Force sensitive, like an infant or a toddler, as Plo Koon. He came to the planet when he discovered Ahsoka when she was only 3 years old, and some species actually, it's like humans. Not every single one of in that galaxy is of humans are Force sensitive. Let's say if you say of the Coruscant's 1 trillion population, not every single one is Force sensitive. But there are some species that actually do, which in the entire population is Force sensitive. But that means like if a planet has say 5 billion members of the entire population, not every single one joins the Order of the Jedi's, because that would have been a little too crowded. Because you think 5 billion members of their species on a whole on Coruscant, which plus that has just 1 trillion people. No, but
Though I
then
think it would be kind of funny if one day they made like a Jedi Wookiee or a Sith Wookiee. That would be kind of funny.
there is actually Jedi Wookiees.
Oh, really?
Yep. At least in expanded universe, there is like no. Plo Koon, the Jedi Master, which has its mask in his face.
Yeah.
His master was actually a Wookiee named Tuwoka. And
Whoa.
yeah, and Chewbacca's nephew, Lubaka, is a Jedi Knight in expanded universe.
Oh,
But
that would be
here's the reason why that we don't see as many Jedi Knights that is with the or Jedi as Wookiees, since they only been there since the Wookiees are a rare species among the Jedi's. Only one in 100 years or so is born Force sensitive.
Oh.
Yeah. Since unlike this Yoda species, which every single one is Force sensitive.
That explains
we
why
also-
Yoda has the same like abilities like Yoda.
Yoda and Yaddle, another member of his species, which also on the council, belong to the same species as Grogu belong to the same, and he's Force sensitive. And anyone that's a species can actually be in Force sensitive.
Though
Yeah,
I
but-
wonder, would it be
But you said that
possible?
those were the highest midichlorian counts.
Though I wonder if it would be possible that Grogu might be related to Yoda.
It's not. Well, it's possible that he could be born at the time, but it's unlikely. Yoda would very much been very dedicated towards to follow the code to follow.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
yeah. So, but as you said, that how many of which species much has the highest midichlorian counts? There is no guarantee this is possible, is canon or as can be confirmed. But the only those individual that we know was has the highest was Anakin. As
Yeah.
only as a 10-year-old, he had over 20,000 on this count. Even
Yeah.
me, and even much more than even higher than Yoda's account.
Though I don't think Anakin is an actual human now, is he? Like I know he's from
Yo,
another
he's
planet.
actually he is a human. He is completely human. But in canon sources that suggest that maybe Darth Plagueis is the responsible for, or even Palpatine responsible for Anakin's being born or made by the Force in the first place.
Oh.
Since Darth Plagueis was actually fascinated by this, to try to manipulate the midichlorians in order to find a way to immortality.
Wait, Dark Plagueis? That name is familiar.
That's Insidious' master.
Oh, wait.
Until he
created Anakin?
It's not. I don't think it's confirmed yet, but some people believe that either Darth Plagueis or Palpatine was directly responsible by manipulating the Force with the midichlorians in the lake, which led to creation of Anakin to be formed inside his mother.
What the
Because
fuck?
since Anakin's mother wasn't actually from Tatooine from the beginning.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she was actually from another planet, but since she was captured by pirates and sold to slavery to the Hutts after, and he, but some people just saying that they were from the planet.
Oh.
And but I do believe maybe that's perhaps some things could manipulate the sense, which otherwise it wouldn't make sense because since Anakin has the highest midichlorian counts over 20,000, which is even much higher than Grandmaster Yoda.
Oh.
Yeah. And like I said, many other species out there in the galaxy, not every one of us has any highest. There could have been some. There were actually this being force sensitive is required either two things. One, it could be genetically, or two, it could have been manipulated by someone.
Yeah.
And not every single force sensitive individual that's found is joining the order, because it requires a certain amount of force strength at a certain level in order to being accepted in the order. There were actually one case of the Jedi Order was actually being sued because they found a baby girl on a planet that has been suffering from this major disaster, that event, and eventually which led to that, and that they believe that she was now orphan, but turned out the mother had survived, and she demanded to have them to hand over the baby to her. But since they discovered that her baby was force sensitive, and handing in an untrained force sensitive individual back to his family could be not bad. They could have been seriously bad. Because because imagine this, untrained force powers could be eventually such lead to devastating effect. In it seems that the most common powers is that you can make things lift or move something from across the room by your hand to your hand, or or maybe as like the Force lightnings,
Oh yeah.
which is only available to Sith. And I'm surprised that none of this the Order never actually found out about Anakin much earlier on, and that even though he was actually too old for even joining the Order, since he was 10 years old, and they only take in when they're infants or toddlers, but not as at his age.
Yeah.
But they made the exception.
I mean, to be fair, the Jedi Masters of the recent time were kind of responsible for like falling to the dark side because they kind of deny him at every request.
Yeah, I mean, any Jedi's could actually leave the Order at any time. And here's the thing. And since those who turn into Jedi way from a young age until like they're to being and being if they're passed to being chosen as someone's Padawan. But if those Jedi younglings never actually end up being someone's Padawan, they actually still remains in the Order, but they never actually reach the rank of Knight or Master. They will be assigned to the they will be assigned to the agricultural corps, meaning they've been spending time traveling to farm plant to any plants that were using their force powers in help growing plants.
Yeah.
And but there are, of course, some Jedi's that can't be kicked out of the Order after they've done some things. Others, but you think like since the Jedi's are not allowed to form attachments or families, but there is exceptions. Master Jedi Master Kiara Mundi is one of those who actually had permission, since his people has a low birth rate. So he has 5 wives back on his home planet. But that's actually completely normal. But he's allowed to have families, but not as being having to form any attachment to any of his children.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's because that's allowed since his people have such low birth rate, and that makes sense. You're having a if you have a belong to a species which doesn't have very much births of any offsprings, and I mean he also wants to make sure that his species doesn't go extinct of any reason, which makes completely sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you belong to a species that has low birth rates, and to make sure that you're preventing your species going extinct, to have multiple partners and multiple children with these wives in order to make sure that your species doesn't go extinct.
That does make sense.
Yeah, it's like say if Game Guy or Cypress belong to a species that's the same thing. They have to do the same. They have the obligation to make sure that their species doesn't go extinct. I would have done the same thing. I mean, if you would have had to be having not just 5, maybe if you had to have, let's say, 10 or perhaps 20 partners and have at least 5 children with each. Think about it. Okay, 20 partners plus 5 with each. That would make 100 kids.
Yeah, that is true.
Damn, that's a lot.
But if you have if you
Yeah.
have if you had 20 partners and that if the standard each want to have 10, so 20 times 10, that'd be like 200. But if there was 50 partners, each one with also 10, 500 kids. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I should end the stream here soon anyway, since that's almost been 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Wowzer, wowzer.
Uh-oh.
What,
Well-
what a coincidence.
But
Good.
anyways, it's gonna be any super millionaire after this.
Also, I did change my profile picture to
Yeah,
Eevee.
to Eevee.
I see it.
I mean, I changed
I
it.
wonder if Brony Dreamer's still alive. He's been muted most of this time.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
I mean, at least I did come in. At least I may have come in a little bit late, just a little, but okay.
Yeah, an
Yeah.
hour and 30 minutes later.
Yeah, Kovu.
Th-
Kovu
That's
comes
what
in all the-
that's what I'm saying. I'm just a little bit late, not that much.
Yeah,
That's
Kovu
pretty damn
comes
long
in-
if you ask me.
I mean, I look cute though.
What?
I look
What?
cute with the Eevee though.
Yeah. Well, you always look good, but anyway. But anyway.
At least one thing I
You're not helping yourself.
at least one thing I realized with Kovu, he always comes in
Serious
wearing the pink.
Kubo.
At
What?
least I realized at least one thing with Kovu streams, he always comes into the streams with a pink mop on his head.
That's it. Oh, that's zany though.
Serious Kubo. You really need to keep your thing in your pants and not hit on every single woman you encounter.
Hey, it's just my fault if everybody wants it.
I would. My
I
girlfriend wouldn't. My girlfriend wouldn't. She probably like, that's tiny. Or too
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, but it's your girlfriend. He's not gonna go with another man.
Nope.
And even if she did, I'm pretty sure you still wouldn't have your permission.
Well, unless you're in a
I mean, you still with me with Blaze because Blaze and you.
Perhaps. Well, I should end here. So that's just
Alright.
been a lot of. That's been fun. The next stream will be tomorrow as normal. The next.
Please make it
game-
short.
Yeah, Kubo next tomorrow. Please be in time. Otherwise, I will kick your ass.
I kick you ass. I will make you.
But the next game show stream will be about Pokemon. It's gonna be March 17th.
Oh yeah.
Saturday.
Well,
I'll be
Friday,
there.
actually.
well, I don't think Kovu can use a lifesaver because if he tries cutting his hair with a lifesaver, I think his hair will cut on fire. Will catch fire.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but he will be permanently bald. Like, what's
Hold on,
up?
let me change my picture back real quick before you do that.
Wait, hold on. Uh-oh.
Alright, there we go.
This is cool. This is cool, and it's bad hair day.
Come on.
And this,
That's him in his Halloween costume all the time.
and
I
this,
never
is,
did that
Oh
hair day.
wow.
and
Here's
this
always
is,
interesting.
and this is Malachi's. This is his. It is Malachi's.
Make
I'm
sure you be
thinking
on in the
about
morning.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to be late in the morning. If I'm still asleep, just wait till I get up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's been fun. See you all tomorrow. Bye.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
And don't forget, stay chaotic.
And stay away from Kubo's people because he's insane.
And goodbye.